Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm Patrick Ndonzi.
I'm Harlan Madimba.
I'm
Welcome, everybody.
me versus me. So, we're gonna touch on the topic of breaking the cycle. We gave people a little preview, um, a few months ago,
Mm,
and today we're just basically gonna expand
yeah.
on what we're talking about now. In terms of breaking the cycle, back in going to various departments, I was having a conversation earlier today with my niece, and we're basically talking about the fact that it could consist of breaking cycles of traditions, um, educational systems,
Yeah.
um, old ways of doing things, trying
Mm-hmm.
to carry the old into the new, being stagnant. It's such a broad topic, and
It is.
we could be here for ages. But basically today, what are we specifically touching on in terms of breaking the cycle? Which departments? I mean, even though it's the slogan is the dangers of tradition, because that's what
Mm-hmm.
we're really trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
raise awareness on
Mm-hmm.
how when tradition can be dangerous. Now,
Mm-hmm.
we're not saying that tradition is bad. We're not saying that tradition in itself is wrong. However, it can become dangerous based on how you choose to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Even good knowledge, if good knowledge is used for a negative purpose, it becomes dangerous. I put up a post a week or two ago. Um, it was about not giving up. It spoke about, I don't know if you've seen that new not super new, but recently new series on Netflix called
Oh, Squid Game.
Squid Games, yeah.
Okay, I've not watched
So
it yet.
so this individual basically was pitching this series since I believe 2015, 2013, and he had been rejected close to 10 or 11 times already, but he didn't give up. He kept on pursuing, and now he has the number one show series
Mm,
on Netflix,
mm,
just to
mm,
show that
mm,
you know what, don't give up too quickly because you never know. Persistence breaks resistance. If you're consistent, you're persistent, you will get what you want eventually. So I put that up there, and then someone wrote a comment and said, this can be very dangerous
mm-hmm.
because you could give this advice to someone, they can do some stupid shit, and
Mm.
I'll put to myself, clearly I'm not putting this up there,
There's always one in
yeah,
it.
for negative purposes. We know that it's motivational and it's encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now the same thing could be said about anything. If I say work hard, are you gonna say, "Oh, be careful, that can be dangerous"? Because if you tell a serial killer to work hard, no,
Yeah.
yeah, information is there, knowledge is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If a dangerous person is using that for dangerous purposes, then that's when you come think the issue is not the information. The issue is that problem who's using it in a perverted way. Yeah. So same thing with tradition, yeah.
Mm.
It can become dangerous based on how we choose to use it and the individual who's using it. Yeah. Now I always believe that, and I still do, that tradition is great for historic reference, educational reference, and as a stepping stone. We won't be where we are today. We won't have the knowledge that we have today if it wasn't for tradition. Let's face it. Yeah, we'll learn a lot from tradition. Bear with me.
The
Sorry,
clip.
check. Bear with me.
Mm.
We've learned a lot from tradition, yeah? So don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting it. However, there's a way as to which we should use it, yeah? I'm a firm believer in what used to be culture 100 years ago is now tradition. What made sense 100 years ago doesn't necessarily make sense now in terms of practical living, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Using it as reference in order to better ourselves, yes. But what's culture today didn't exist 100 years ago. And what was done 100 years ago made sense to that particular culture, that particular audience. But if it was to apply it today, day and age, it's not necessarily going to work. So the
Mm.
issue is basically when you try and utilize the old mindsets into
Mm.
new things and expect results.
Mm. So true.
Mm.
You're definitely right. I mean, it's a very important topic to touch on. Breaking cycles, because a lot of people are victims of negative cycles.
Right.
They're in a bad situation. They've been in bad situations for a long time.
Right.
In the name of tradition, because of things that were done in the family or things that are still being done in the family,
Right.
that is affecting them. And I think when you want to break out of a cycle, you have to expect opposition. Always make sure that opposition is going to come.
Yes.
Especially if you are talking about something. Let's give an example of something that's been in the family for a while.
Yeah.
Let's say, I don't know. Let's say childbearing has been an issue in the family for a while. Like the women, they get pregnant, then they miscarry, or some don't get pregnant at all, or some commit abortions or whatever. And if it's now your turn as a female, let's say every time somebody gets pregnant, the tradition in the family is that they will get the elders to pray for you, or the other women to pray for you.
Right.
Or to say some kind of, to make pronouncements which they call prayer. But now you, as a young lady, however old you are anyway, having seen what's been going on, you're going to be like, no, listen, I will not allow you guys to pray for me, because look, the pattern is bad.
Yeah.
That's going to face opposition.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, who do you think you are? That has been going on. But you be like, well, look at the results. So what kind of pronouncements are being done, really? Are we giving glory to God? And the other thing is miscarriage? Or some they even commit abortion because of whatever reason, or they just lose the baby, or they just remain barren? No, that means that some kind of deity is being fed.
Yeah.
It's not God, obviously.
Right.
Because everything these pronouncements are made, he feeds a certain altar. That is not God.
Right.
So now I'm going to dedicate my child to God.
Right.
That's going to face opposition. Even if they tell you, okay, you do what you want then. You know when they say that,
you do what you want.
you expect challenges to come.
Yeah.
But then you have to separate yourself. But what we find is that because it's become so strong, like you mentioned about how it's been done, some things have been done since centuries, it's now become tradition.
Right.
Because it is so strong, some find it very, very difficult to break out. They want to break out.
Yeah.
But then they're a bit like, they're scared of the backlash.
Right.
But listen, you're gonna stick to tradition at the detriment of your destiny?
Yeah.
No. You're gonna upset people. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You're not gonna go through life. You're not upsetting people that are close to you.
Right.
Because everyone is going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Let's understand this. When it comes to your destiny, people will have an opinion,
Always.
especially if you very, very traditional families. Like some of our backgrounds. Everybody will have an opinion.
Yes.
Even those that have failed.
Yeah.
Are what you're trying to get. They'll have an opinion.
Absolutely.
Even those who are not yet married and they're whatever certain age, they'll still have an opinion. Or you don't live. This is how we do things. But how is it working for you?
Yeah.
So why don't you let me break out so that when you see me succeed, you're gonna be like, oh, actually, you can start something new here. Because when you break out of a cycle, you begin a new cycle.
Exactly.
Which is what a better cycle.
Better cycle. Yes.
A better cycle. Yeah. So the for me this thing is very it's very what's it called? It's very current.
Yeah.
In a lot of families,
Right.
because I've seen people our generation, younger, they've gone through a lot of things. I've seen people our age a bit younger than us, and some of them they look stressed because of what tradition has done to them. You ask yourself like, whoa, why are you looking so whatever? They have literally given up.
Yeah.
I know so many like that, that they're waking up here, they don't know what to do because of tradition. Young man that's 35 turning to drink. Young man that's 40 saying that I've given up on life. I don't want to marry again. I'm just going to do any job that comes to mind.
Right.
But God has put him to a greater career. But because in a family where nobody gets a proper job anyway, because if you try to break out, this is what will happen. He's going to wake up that God. That's what I've been told.
Right.
But yet that person has been to church or still goes to church, but yet they are not taking in the message because they are being threatened by what has gone on in the family.
Yeah.
And it can be intimidating because people who have evidence, people are going to be like, well, look, this is what's happened to those I've tried to challenge. Yeah. Right. The evidence will back it up. Yeah. It's not a lie. The evidence will back it up that when you want to break out of a demonic cycle, they will try and keep you in.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Yeah, the evidence is there. So we're not saying that you're lying. But what we are saying is that there's a greater power and there's a greater calling to you.
Right.
You need to understand that first. There's a greater calling to you. I always say that what is the point of following God if you are our God Yahweh? If you are not, if you're not going to follow Him fully, if you are not willing to enjoy the benefits that comes from following Him.
Right.
That's why again a lot of our relatives, they go to church, but yet they are stuck in cycles as well.
Mm-hmm.
They fully got church. They fully got church, whether it's Catholic or whatever, they fully got church, even Pentecostal, you want to call it Pentecostal or whatever. They fully got church and that they pray and everything. But when it comes to certain things, oh no, don't touch that. Oh. So why are you in church then? Oh, tradition. So you're not willing to allow the greater power
Right.
to enter your life to smash those cycles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, well, at least I am in church.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm feeding, I'm feeding this other deity as well. So
Right.
you're feeding to altars, like, how?
It's crazy because even though those who claim that, yes, they believe in God,
Mm-hmm.
God is a priority in their life. They believe in God and God is a priority in their life. And when it comes to tradition, sometimes they'll really show you what the priority is in their lives.
Oh, yes.
They'll say, no, this is tradition. No, in our tradition, we do this. In our tradition, we do that. To the point where wrong becomes right because of tradition. Something as simple as, I want to get married to this individual. What country is he from? Oh, no, we don't mix with that country. Why? That's tradition. We never have. I want to marry this individual. He's from that tribe. No, we don't mix from that tribe.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
in our tradition, it has to be a certain way. So when tradition starts to replace morals, then it's clearly a problem.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah.
If something's right, let it be right. If something's wrong, it's wrong. However, what makes something wrong? If I'm doing something that's wrong, I don't mind you putting me in check. I don't mind you correcting me. But I would like to know what's wrong.
Yeah.
You have to give me a little bit more than just it's tradition. So if you don't like certain people because of their tribe, does that make it right because tradition didn't? Maybe 100 years ago there was a reason why two particular tribes didn't mix. It could have been a very justified reason back then, which made sense. Yeah. If you want to marry someone from a different culture, no, we don't. Them people, they're useless. Now you are discriminating, and you call it tradition. No, it's discrimination. Whether it's to do with their how they were raised, their culture, whether it's to do with the color of their skin, whether it's to do with their geographic location where they were born. If your problem is that, then you're discriminating. Yeah. And if that's your tradition, then I can clearly say that, yeah, there's something wrong with that tradition. Because that's hate on people.
Yeah.
You promote hate on people. You portray yourself as being better than other people.
Yeah.
Other people are less than you. If they don't like you, they're less than you. If they don't talk like you, they're less than you. If they weren't born where you were born, they're less than you. If they weren't raised in the same town that you were raised in, they're less than you. That becomes a problem. That's when tradition actually becomes dangerous, because if someone's from a different culture and you do get with them, you're learning from both sides. They learn from you, learn from them.
Yeah.
And we expand on knowledge. There's growth and development in that. If you have two people who have got it together here, and they know where they want to go in life, and they are compatible, it shouldn't really have to matter as to where I was born, where they were born. It shouldn't have to matter as to their height. I mean, with some people, like, height is a tradition as well. How tall is that man? No way. He's only 2 inches taller than you. No, he has to be at least 5 inches. Only tall. Like, I've seen that happen. If you wear heels, like, you still need to look up. Like, it will be, no, you can't marry him.
Yeah.
There might be a risk that your children may not be tall. And the joke thing, you look at the parents, they're not even tall themselves.
That's what I'm saying.
So, as laughable as it is, some people, it's almost like that's the oxygen that they actually breathe.
Yeah.
And sometimes the children become a prisoner to that, where they're not able to maximize their potential. They're not able to become who they actually need to be in life. They're not able to dream big. But if they do dream big, they can't really share their dreams. They can't really express their dreams. They're definitely not gonna get that support.
Yes.
Within their environment.
No,
Because the environment has boxed them in already because
that's
of what?
so true.
Tradition.
That is so true.
Because of tradition, it's boxed them in. So there's a fear factor now. They sacrifice their dream. They sacrifice greatness. For the sake of tradition, for the sake of pleasing their family.
That is so true.
And in some cases, it could be and I'm not saying this to disrespect any kind of families, but in some cases, families who are living below average, but yet they want to use themselves as an example. We did this. What have you done? What have you achieved? You're struggling, and you're using yourself as an example. No, you should be using yourself as an example of what not to do.
Oh, Patrick.
You should be using yourself as an example of what to avoid in life. I would do the same thing. If I fail in life, I want to look at my nieces and my nephews and say, avoid this mistake that I made. Because this is where I've ended up now. I've had someone say that to me before. Patrick, make sure you don't do what I did. Make sure if you choose a woman, you choose one. Do not do what I did. My biggest regret today is that I don't get to see all of my kids together. Now, this person's giving me advice in terms of relationship, how to treat women. But he himself, he's not living that at all. Player with a capital P. No disrespect if I love him, but he doesn't live that at all.
Yeah.
However, when he came to me, he was like, you know what? I don't want him to take that route. Whatever he's struggling with, and that I don't know. Only he knows his internal struggles. However, I respect someone who could be in that situation and not be so miserable to the point where they want to drag people into it, because we know that misery loves company. But this individual was able to tell me, you know what? Make sure you do the opposite to what I'm doing. I want you to succeed.
So true.
I want you to do it properly.
So true.
When you're choosing a partner, make sure she's got it right here and here. Don't just go for this. He's telling me this. He could have easily been saying, well, you know what? Enjoy life, man. I mean, do what I did and whatnot.
Could have easily said that.
He could have easily said that. Yeah, hello? Yeah, you're good, yeah. Okay, you remember the station? You sure? Okay, cool. It's called A Loft Lounge. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, ALOFT, yeah. Okay. I see, sir. Yeah, what was I saying?
Yeah, the example of the advice.
Yeah. So that's the advice that he gave me. Now, some people say, well, how can you listen to someone who's not living it? No, you can. Trust me.
You can.
Trust me, you can.
You can.
Yeah. If I was a war vet and I went to war and I came back and I lost one of my legs, I would tell someone, you know what, avoid the army. Or if I saw someone in that situation, that position, and they told me avoid the army, I'll look at him and be like, yeah, you know what, thank you for telling me that. If I see someone who's struggling on crack and they tell me, Patrick, make sure you never touch, smell, or even look at this substance, it will mess you up, I will listen to them. Why? Because they are speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you do it, it's experience.
It's experience, innit? Yeah.
It's experience regardless. If you've achieved something or not achieved it, you've gone through an experience. It's an experience that you've gone through.
That's right.
It's an experience that you've gone through. A loss is an experience that you got. Failure, that's an experience. And you know what comes with it.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell someone, you know what, avoid this. Yeah. That's what we're supposed to do. Pass on knowledge that leads towards growth, that leads towards development. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Some people become so bitter, I didn't achieve it, so you do the same thing as well. No, that's pure wickedness. Whether you know it or not, you're wicked if you do that to your children. If you've lived a mediocre life, below average life, and you want your kids and their kids to follow after what you did, to only achieve what you did. Some of them don't want their kids to outdo what they did. And your parents will know they can't outdo me, not do things this way. No, you're wicked.
That's not on, man.
You need therapy, you need counseling. You need to see a psychiatrist. You're sick mentally. And I'm not saying that as it is. You're sick. No, there's certain people who have illness.
Today.
No, I'm not attacking anyone. We're raising awareness on the dangers of tradition, breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're breaking that cycle. Some people have sicknesses out there, they don't even know it.
Yeah.
One day they walk in, they collapse and they fall down. They take them to hospital. They get a checkup and they find out, okay, you have this, that, and that. Oh, I never knew. Well, by our result, based on what we've done, it seems like it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Self-reflection is good. Self-reflection is very healthy. It's very healthy. It's healthy. Let's do it. Reading, healthy. Working out physically, healthy. Mental exercise, healthy. It's good for you. It's good for the body. You need to train your body to be doing these kind of things. So if you can clearly see that something's not working, if you can clearly feel that it's not working because you've seen it, you've heard it, and you've experienced it, you're part of it too.
Yeah.
How can you not be an example of growth and development in your own household and be comfortable with that? Your children want to pursue a career. They want to go and study abroad or outside the city. You have a problem with that. You want to block them. I know of a parent where their son wanted to study in New York, in the United States.
Okay.
The parent didn't want it to happen. No, don't go there. They stand out over there. They have gangs. They kill people. People die everywhere.
Yeah, it's a choice, isn't it?
First time I was shot at, I was 13 years old. Do you know what happened?
Was it outside your house?
Outside my house.
Yeah.
Outside my house. That's the first time I was shot at. They missed. I was 13 years old. It can happen anywhere.
Yeah. True.
The other time I got shot at, where it was vital, it wasn't that far from where I lived either.
Yeah. I'm still in the area.
In life, you have to take risks.
Yeah.
You do. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's the bottom. It's a risk. To every mother that's given birth to a child, you took a risk. When you went to labor, like, if there's any vital point in life that literally personifies life and death, it's when you're in labor. When you're in labor, it's life and death.
Yeah.
Any wrong move that you make can kill you and what you carry.
100%.
Sorry, who you carry. Because who you carry has a womb that's designed to carry someone. And whoever they would have given birth to will also have if they're female, they'll carry someone. So
that's right.
You're pregnant with destiny. What do you do in that moment? You do what it takes in order to push destiny out, because destiny carries destiny, that carries destiny, that carries destiny, that carries destiny. Now, when you allow tradition now to block people from fulfilling their destiny, it's not just them that you damage, but a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Think of some of the greats. Think of someone like Nelson Mandela. How many people has he inspired? Yeah? Imagine if he allowed tradition to box him in. He didn't. He actually didn't. He stood for a cause and said that, you know what, I want equality. I want equality, and he didn't budge. For that, they put him in jail. He said, put me in jail. But my song is not singing. I'm going to sing the same song until I get equality.
Yeah.
They offered to release him early if he changed his song. He said, no, keep me in here. I'll stay in here. I'm singing the same song. 27 years, we heard that song. And he made a change. One person. Never underestimate the ability that one person has. You don't know what they carry.
Yeah.
Never make tradition more important than a human being. Never. Because furthermore, who started tradition anyway? Is there not a human being?
It's human being that starts tradition, isn't it? Yeah.
So what makes you think that human being cannot upgrade from that
and
do more?
I know that is so absurd. Like you're so stuck in this.
Who said that knowledge was kept back in 1850? That you can't get any more? No, knowledge increases. Look at our phones. I remember my phone from 2007. Believing it was a good phone.
Yeah.
Imagine 20 years from now what we're going to be doing with our devices.
Yeah.
Imagine. We don't allow tradition to get in the way of technology. So why allow tradition to get in the way of human beings who invent technology.
Human
Beings who are smarter than these devices that they invent themselves, who come up with these ideas. You want to box them in. And when it comes to device and technology, yes. No, it's a human being who did that. Now, that human being now wasn't boxed in by tradition. He either fought it or he had people around him that pushed him in the right direction and said, you know what? Go get it, Steve. Go get it, Bill. You can do it, Ricky. Go do it, James. But in some household, no. In this household, in this household, no. Cut that out. You're killing. You're killing people. You're killing people. So my question is, are you sick? Are you bitter? Are you suffering from bitterness? I believe there's a majority of people who are suffering from bitterness and they don't even recognize it.
Yeah.
They don't even recognize it. Some of them will feel threatened by the ones that they gave birth to. They see greatness and they have a problem with it. No, that's not. Oh, whatever. And they won't support the vision.
Yeah.
They'll speak against it. They'll call it council, elders council. Oh, you need to be careful because, like, some people may travel, go here, and they won't succeed. Do you know how many people are trying to do what you're doing? That's really what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
That's really what you're gonna say.
I've heard that.
Do you know how many people? Times. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. You're you. Those people that are going there, that are trying to achieve it, at least they have people who've allowed them to go there. Why don't you let me do the same thing?
Yeah.
It could go either way. I could either succeed in what I'm trying to pursue, or I could fail. But there's only one way to find out, and that's by doing it. That's by doing it. So back to the example that I was giving before. So this individual wanted to go and study in America. So I sidetracked a little bit to study to America. Now their parent came up with all this stuff. Well, there's gangs over there. They carry guns. They could kill you and whatnot. Talked the son out of it big time. Spoke against it, and even got certain family members to call him and talk him out of it.
Yeah.
Got a family member who's prayerful, who's known as a prophet, to tell him, yeah, don't go there because that spirit of death that follows you is gonna end up killing you over there. Listen to what they said, and this is where it's embarrassing because this woman is supposed to be a godly representative, and they said it in prayer as if it was prophecy. They said that spirit of death that follows you will kill you if you go over there. Let me say that one more time. That spirit of death which follows you, which is following you in England. Yeah? So I don't know what's so special about the United Kingdom that the spirit of death can't kill you here.
Can't kill you here, yeah.
But in New York, it's not going to kill you down. Why?
That's absurd.
Spirit of death kills, right? Kill. Whether you're in Uganda, Iceland, Australia, China, Hawaii, Jamaica, Trinidad. Death is death. Kill.
Yeah.
But New York killed. Why? Now my question is, you said that, and that son decided, okay, cool. Now, how did that make you? Were you literally satisfied after that?
That's the thing.
That's what I want to know.
That's the thing.
If you were satisfied after that, you're sick. You're sick. He didn't go.
Yeah.
He didn't pursue greatness. He listened. I can't comprehend that. How do you feel?
Yeah.
He listened. How do you feel? If you felt satisfied, you are sick. You are sick. And guaranteed, you're not achieving much with your life either. If that's what you did. Manipulated someone to not pursue greatness. But really, truly, their success is attached to you. When they make it, they're going to remember you.
I don't understand that.
When they make it and they're in a better position, they're going to help you by putting you in a better position.
That's right.
But no, you'd rather be stuck. But you'll be the first to complain when things don't go the way you want it to go. But what example are you giving? When they see you do it, do they see a role model and say, I want to be like you, my dad. I want to be like my mother. I want to be like my uncle. What are you doing that's elevating them? What are you doing that's making them wake up early in the morning and say, I want to achieve this today? What are you doing? Tradition. Oh, in our custom, we do. In our custom. Where's the custom got you? Where has it got you?
Yeah.
I was speaking to my niece earlier today, and I was saying that certain generations, they'll migrate from one country to another. They'll be in that country for 30 years, and they don't speak the language. There's a problem with that. There's a problem with that. Instant barrier. You've boxed yourself. You've put yourself in a cage already. You've limited what you can do. Now you're there. You're full of talent. Every human being is talented. Everyone. And it don't matter how many talents you've got. You can have one, but that one talent will impact thousands.
Yeah.
If you plant it in the right place and you allow it to grow the way it's supposed to grow, it will. Now you choose not to speak the language. You're limited in terms of what jobs you can get. You're limited in terms of the people who are around who can point you in the right direction. You're limited because you can't speak to them.
Yeah.
By choice.
Yeah.
By choice, you decided to limit yourself. 3 courses, go and learn the language. Study, watch programs that's in the language of the country that you're in.
Nah, they watch the Nations program, man.
Read books that's in the language of the country that you're in. Every little thing. What the heck is
You know that.
Seriously.
This is too much.
Seriously. Where are you now? 15 years later. Now, what's selfish about that is that your child was probably 3 years old when they came to the country. Year 1, they're 4. Year 2, 3. So, are you sitting there and waiting for them to reach a certain age? And then once they reach a certain age, you tell them, okay, go and work now, take care of them. Seriously. Something's wrong with that picture. Something's wrong with that picture. Do you know what you could have achieved in 6 years if you allowed yourself, if you plugged yourself in and decided, I'm going to learn, not just for your sake, but the sake of your children that you came with? And I say this as an African who migrated from Africa to Europe. I've seen it with people from my country, from Zaire. I've seen it with people from other nations. I've seen it in France with the North Africans, the Algerians, the Moroccans, the Senegalese. I've seen it there. But with Senegal, they speak French anyway, where they're from, so they have an advantage. But with some of them, they've been in France 30 years and they can't speak French properly. No. How's your child speaking French properly, but you're not? Something's wrong with that picture. A 4-year-old is not smarter than a 30-year-old. No. Their excuse will be, well, they're kids, so they learn. No. What the kids do is they allow themselves to learn. They'll watch a program that's in that language. They'll read a book that's in that language. What happens is it sinks into your subconscious and you pick it up. But these adults, they're such experts of life because they create life themselves. No. Give me a language that I'm already used to. Ain't like traditional. And you bugged yourself. Apply for a job now. You can't apply for certain jobs that you actually have the skill for, because you probably did it back in your home country. You're here now. You can't. Okay, you might be able to get a clearer job. They don't really need you to speak. Just nod your head and do as you're told. Go in. You go there. Nighttime or super early in the morning. But then you might not want certain people to see you, because you've got a reputation. So you're living like 10, 15, 20 years of your life sneaking around. I don't want people to know this. Look, people, if you're doing it for that long, people will know. Someone has seen you. Someone's seen you on that bus early in the morning. See, certain buses early in the morning, they know where you're going.
Of course.
If you're on a bus at a certain time where before the corporate people get on the bus, if you're in that bus that early, we know what kind of job you're doing. We know what kind of job you're doing. So are you willing to suffer like that at the expense of your children being limited? Or will you make a sacrifice of saying, you know what, let me go and educate myself. So that I don't have to do this job any longer. Let me put myself in a better position. So by the time he's 16, 17 or 18, my salary is good enough to take care of him. I've been studying for 3 years. I've managed to get a better job. I don't have to do cleaning anymore. I can do a better job. Okay, I'm studying some more now. I'm learning how to create and set up my own business now. Okay, I understand why it's important to have good credit now. I understand how to invest now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And not only have I understood it, I can put my son, my daughter, in a better position by teaching them what I've learned as well.
That's right. That's right.
So they're learning academically, which is fine. If I'm learning, I can also help them academically as well. You know, there's certain parents who have never done one single homework with their kids, ever. All the primary school. Okay, primary school is 6 years. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Secondary school is 5 years. That's 11 years. College, let's say A levels, 2 years. I'm not gonna mention university.
I beg.
So school, 11 years. College, 2 years. 13 years, and you've never done one piece of homework with your kids. Really? But let your child achieve something or graduate and get something, you'll be like, yes, my son, that's my son.
Yeah, of course.
That's my daughter. Yes, that's my nephew. And you're there in the graduation pictures.
Yeah.
My son, and you start showing off. He's gonna get a good job now. And he's gonna take care of me now. Now, I'm not saying don't take care of him. That's not what I'm saying at all. Yeah? Honor your parents. Always.
That's right.
But don't jump on the bandwagon
Yeah, that's what's
when you was
happening.
absent
Yeah.
while they were building.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
Because you won't like it if someone done that to you. You wouldn't. You won't like it if someone done that to you. So why would you do that to other people and then feel comfortable about it? Why is there no conviction in you, no guilt to say that, you know what, I never helped my child with a single piece of homework. I never helped them with their business. I didn't believe in their vision. Now they've succeeded. Why is there no conviction? Why? Tradition. This is how it was done. This is how this is how. So you don't even want to adapt anymore.
Yeah.
And they're succeeding now. And then we wonder why sometimes there's such a huge gap or huge disconnect between the two generations. A big disconnect.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't understand them. I don't know what's wrong with them. You try and talk to them, they don't listen. Why? There's a barrier now.
Yeah.
The good thing about the younger generation is that there's a fire in them. Yeah, they do get caught up in some sticky situations. Yeah, they get caught up in some messy situations. I've been there before as well. But that fire in them causes them to do the wrong thing because there's no guidance where they are. So you're filled with potential, ideas, but there's no guidance as to how you should go about it. That builds up frustration. So you go out and then you experiment and you make mistakes. And guess who the first critics are? Yeah. Those ones from your household. Oh, what's wrong? Okay. Have you ever sat down with them and asked them, what do you want to do in life? Now, in all fairness, some of you have asked, what do you want to do? But here's where it gets worse. Once they actually told you they want to do, once they actually told you their vision, once they actually showed you how big they dream and see, you told them to shut up and to be realistic. You shut it down. Prime Minister, oh, be realistic. Last I checked, Prime Ministers are human beings. Human beings.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I want to be an international football player, one of the best. What if it doesn't work? I want to be a fashion designer. Yes. Dream killers. Why? Tradition. You haven't seen anyone do it before. Fine. But those people who you see on TV are real people.
Exactly.
Real people. So it's achievable. So basically what I'm trying to say is there's no excuses.
Yeah.
You can choose to have an excuse, but there's no excuses. That's why there's such a huge gap between certain generations. The older generation. Now, I'm not speaking of every single culture, because there are some cultures out there who actually, and there are some, not just cultures, there are people out there who actually have supported their children, and thank God for that. I admire that. It's motivating. It's extremely inspiring, very much so. But those who have chosen to make tradition their gods, those who have chosen to make tradition their laws,
that's the thing.
At any cost, there's a problem there.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say again, tradition isn't bad if used effectively. Yeah, because it does set boundaries. It sets boundaries, and boundaries are good. No, don't do that. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Boundaries have been set.
Yeah.
Yes, fine. How about in terms of moving in that positive pathway, achieving your goals, being successful?
Yeah.
Where's the guidance? Okay, this is how we did things 20 years ago. It worked for 11 years. We need new ideas now, new ways of doing things in order to move forward. What can we do? Sit down. Have meetings, have family meetings. Like, organizations do all these things that you see organizations apply. If you work in a school, they have inset day. Why coming up with different strategies as to how we can help these students, what we can do to improve their grades, how we can meet this one's needs. We do it collectively, have meetings, sit down, plan, strategize together. Everyone benefits. But even if today schools continue to do things the way they did in 1990, in 1985, we wouldn't get nowhere. We wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
If we still use Windows 98 today. Imagine waiting 30 minutes just for the computer to come on. No. Growth is healthy.
Yeah.
Development is healthy.
No,
so tradition is good. But let's just know how to use it.
Yeah.
Let's just know when to use it. But let's not allow it to become an enemy of progress. At all.
That's what's happening out there. That's what's happening out there. And I'm glad you use, like, the family example, because that's where a lot of traditions come from. For all of us who want to break through to the next level, there's been, okay, let me just give an example. Like, I've seen many times, in certain communities, where there are absent fathers, for example, maybe starting from the grandma and then the mom now.
Yeah.
Well, especially now, the generation when people became mothers at a younger age.
Right.
I could see, let's say, a single mother, maybe she's 45 right now, however old she's right now.
Right.
And then, because again, because she has a bitter heart. Right. That thing, she's in a cycle. So whether she's raising sons and daughters, more than likely, sometimes you will see the daughter going the same path. Yeah. As the young mother. Yeah. Like, I've seen people that I went to school with, I know what the mothers are like in school. I'm like, wow, your mom, she's woof. Man, you gotta be careful. I hope you don't turn out like your mom. Right. But then I'm looking at them now. She's turning like the mom. Right. But then she's had kids as well. Oh, wow. And then those kids is like, okay, they're 15, 16 now, and they're going the same way. Yeah. And that is how time flies. Yeah. If you don't take care in not breaking these cycles, time flies, and then before you know it, the person looks back and guess what? Their daughters or their sons, they repeat the mistakes that they've made. Yeah. And that will make them better. Yeah, because you mimic what you see and you think it's the norm. Exactly, and this is where exactly, you think it's the norm, and then it's going to continue and continue. See, another tradition has been set now, where you're gonna tell those kids to just settle for less. Or it doesn't matter about marriage, it doesn't matter about this thing, because at least look at me, I had the man, but look what he done to me. Right. Because of bitterness, now you have passed it on. Right. And when it comes to bloodline thing, it's real. This is deep. This is not just friends influencing you. This is family influencing you. The person that raised you is influencing you that way. Yeah. And what you are saying is also the reality. Well, actually, it's true. Mom's friends, dad's friends, they all have different partners. So I don't see two parents in the home. Or if I do see it, there's always arguments and all these sort of things. So now, this is where, again, a lot of people don't know. I mean, obviously now mental health, everyone's talking about mental health, a lot of mental health, a lot of people don't know that they're actually affected.
Right.
But again, in some communities, we don't have to talk about these things. I mean, I'm glad that it's coming out a lot more, but it needs to be spoken about because that's how these mistakes are being repeated. Because people have become bitter now. They don't want the children to do better. They could say, I want them to do better, but they are passing on the bitterness to their children.
Yeah.
Because they themselves, they have nobody to talk to. Or maybe they don't want to face.
Right.
They don't want to face the issues because who is their role model as well, So it is so important, You spoke again about how kids, young kids, 4 or 5 years old, they're ready to receive any information, And I mean, even Jesus himself said it like we have to have the mind of a child, to be able to receive the kingdom. We have to be teachable because children are teachable. Children receive things easily, and children, I mean, children have even greater faith than some adults,
Yeah,
if you tell a child, you could jump off this table, they're going to do it because to them it's an adventure. They are ready. But that's how we are supposed to be, God's creation.
Yeah.
So if you're a parent and you're stuck in that cycle, you can break it, but you have to be willing to learn.
Yeah.
That thing has to be deconstructed off you. That thing can be broken off you. But are you willing to be taught? Are you willing to be like a child and listen, I want to do better? I want, are you willing to be taught? Are you willing to speak to somebody that, okay, do you know what? This issue has been in my family for too long. Or if you just to talk about what you are going through, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all. You just speak about, okay, you know what? I think my life is bad. I've made bad decisions, but I'm in danger of passing it to my kids. In fact, my kids are turning out like me. They're rude like me. So and when these mothers see, whether the son and the daughter bringing girls or guys on at 15, 14, they're like, so what are you doing? You can't do that. But then they're like, well, mom, you did it.
Right.
That's all you've seen. And what can the mother or the father say? Because that's what they've grown up with, tradition. And that will play havoc in their mind. They'll play havoc in their mind. So it's important that they also are willing to be like, you know what, I need to speak to somebody about it, because I'm bitter. I cannot offer my child a solution that they want or they need. You have to accept that, listen, I've made mistakes. That's the thing. Okay. But you can't just be saying that, oh, don't do this, don't do this. If you do that, you'll be a failure and everything. Okay, fine. But sometimes to break certain tradition, especially when it involves children, when it involves children, family traditional family stuff anyway. Sometimes it's good to talk and explain, look, this is what the family has been going through. We need to break it. Especially if you see somebody in the family that God has identified to be the one. And you said, okay, let's say that person is very committed with church, committed with God. See, instead of telling this person, you and church, where is this church taking you? No.
Right.
You identify this person now. The parents should be like, you know what? You are the one that think you can bring us out of here. Right. Because there's always somebody that God is going to pick. But what tends to happen is that sometimes those the elder generation or the elder people in the family, they'll be like, what does this person know though? We've been alive longer than him. Yeah. You just started going to church. I was an elder in church when you were still in your nappies. But you were still doing that witchcraft, even though you was an elder in church. You was wearing a suit, but you were still praying to that altar. And then you are seeing me, I was an elder in church. Why? You were still in your nappies. Okay, you were elder. Okay, what now? Right. I'm not 25. I'm not 30. I'm not 35. Right. So what did that eldership in church take on you? You are still worshiping that altar. Then let me break the altar. Let me do the job that you couldn't do. Instead of trying to stop me. That's what's happening out there, It's like nobody wants to speak. Nobody wants to speak. Because to them it was normal to be initiated when they were young or whatever. Fine. Right. But the results are not. It's affecting the children. It's affecting everybody. It's affecting, the uncles, the aunties. So be honest and talk about it. Don't just say, oh, what do you know? No, God has chosen the person, but that's why this cycle of repetitive failure is too much. And it's affecting families mentally as well. It's listen, there's too many, there are too many young parents out there. They are stressed. They don't know what to do or where to go just because they've repeated certain cycles. Some of them, they don't want to talk about it. Right. They're not interested in breaking no more. They have given up on life, and this cannot be. Why would you give up on life? And now you want your kids to go for the same thing? You know, you don't want to take responsibility, and that's what breaking cycle is about. It's about taking responsibility. If you don't take responsibility, you will not break a cycle. You will not break a cycle. You know, it's as simple as that. It doesn't matter how old you are. When revelation hits you, you have to run with it.
Yeah.
When you find out, okay, this is where this thing is coming from, now you have to go. You don't need to be looking for excuses.
Right.
So a lot of our aunties, our uncles, or whatever, they know where it is by there. They always try to excuse the thing. Oh, let's cover it up. You can't cover up something that's evil. You're going to cover up witchcraft. Or let's cover it up. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Because why do I want my kids to be chased by some stupid altar that's been chasing my family and myself my whole life? My kids are also going to be chased by that altar. What for? That's crazy. So I'm not going to be like, I was a pastor when it was still a thing. But the thing is still fighting me. Because that's what they all do. Oh, I know the Bible. I know, okay, you know all those things. But why are these things still there? You know? If you couldn't break it, then excuse yourself out of the way. And let the ones that are ready to fight. Let them fight. Even if you don't want to support them, let them fight. Because it's for your freedom anyway. If you don't have the will to fight anymore, let them do it. Because some of them, they don't have the will. Right. They don't have the will. It's like, come on, it will be the same story anyway. Okay, then you stay there. But don't be sowing seeds of what's it called? Don't these seeds of failure, stagnation in the in your kids' life and even as they're growing up, chill out. Don't go and try too much. You've seen your uncle that tried it. He went to America. You look at him now. He married a woman. Look at him now. He's finished. He's bankrupt. He's had to come back in the village. Yeah, but that's him. That's him. That's him. So God, you said that every one of us, God has made us with talents. Yeah. God has blessed all of us. So you cannot fulfill what God has ordained you to fulfill if we stay in these cycles. Right. It's affecting all of us. But some of us have decided to fight. We have decided to fight, and we're not going to stop until we get that freedom. You know. But it's affecting more people than it should. It shouldn't be affecting. Yeah. It should not be affecting us like that. There's a time when the battle has to be over. Yeah. It shouldn't be like, because it's way too much. When I look in my area, when I look around, even here all over London, the amount of single parents home that I see, it's too much. I'm thinking of what's happening. What's happening? The amount of kids that are following up. What is going on? The amount of adults, that they like you said, they don't want to learn things. They still want to stay in the same corner. They choose to be boxed in. But there is better. They begin to grow themselves by age. By 50, 55 is over. What do you mean 55? What is age in the sight of God, an eternal God? You are bringing your age to Him. You are 50. So, okay, you live 50 years. Wow, well done, innit? So continue. Well, I'm 60. I think now I don't have the strength to do that. What are you talking about? Abraham, Moses, how old were they? Exactly. When they go, what do you mean you don't have the strength to do that? Yeah. So cycle will be here to stay if you are not willing to take responsibilities to break them. Cycles will always be here to stay if you are not willing to break them. And if you check your lives right now, and listen, anything that's repetitively negative, know that it's not normal. How many of our friends are going through these things? They're drinking plenty right now. They are drinking, and they don't know what to do tomorrow. They are drinking, and then it's affecting their health. And people are just, I don't know, catching sickness at a young age, and they're just not functioning properly. Too many walking zombies out there because they're in a cycle. That's too many walking zombies out there because they're in a cycle. Again, in some communities as well, you see these fingers. This person is going crazy. This is that. Forget it. But there's a reason. It's all rooted in some of this tradition that refuse to let go of them. So you have to be willing to break it. You have to be willing to break it. So yeah.
Well, I mean, we could go on and on and on and on, but that will be the end of today's segment. There's so much more to say on this matter, so much more to say on this topic. It will not just be myself and Herman, but we'll have other people who will be joining us to speak about breaking the cycle and to raise awareness on the dangers of tradition. So we look forward to coming back here again and sharing more stuff with you, learning from other people who are also going to be joining us on this platform as well. So
actually, can I say something? Can I even last minute example?
Yes.
I remember after we buried our mom, and may she rest in peace. I remember my dad called these old priests that they knew in their house. Right. He called these priests in their house. Yeah, this Catholic priest that they knew from back home. I think he came, And then before he came to the house, my dad was like, oh, the tradition is like when someone dies, you have to call the Catholic priest to come and bless the house with holy water and pray for everyone and bless everything. I'm thinking, well, why? So I said, okay, let the guy come then in. So the guy came, he spoke to us, gave a nice good sermon and everything. And then after he took the so-called holy water, I'm going to sprinkle it around the house. So I was just watching him. I was okay, let him do it. So I was just watching him. Again, tradition. I think about, do you know what he's planting in the house? I was just looking at all of them in it. So as soon as he finished, I'm like, okay, go. He went home. Midnight, when everybody went to sleep, I took my nothing. Oh, I said, no, not on my watch, man. Not if I'm around, not on my watch, But these are the things that just,
Right.
they keep us here. I was just laughing, man. I was like, are you joking? You don't know what things get planted, man. And it's like, no. Yeah. It was a funny one, but yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So there you have it, perfect example, something that he's lived and actually experienced himself that he's sharing with you. So yeah, there's many more subjects like that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who can actually relate to these kind of things,
Yeah.
who may even want to speak about it, because some of these things we've seen it and we haven't really spoken out about it, but I believe that we need to speak out about it. And it's not us attacking people. It's not attacking people, but it's about breaking negative cycles that prevent us from becoming the real version of who we are. So with that being said, I'm Patrick Nzonzi.
I'm Herman Madimba.
This is me versus me. We'll catch you guys next time. See you guys soon.
Take care.